Basic Math, Chapter 7, Section 5, Finding Common Denominators. Like fractions have the same denominator. Unlike fractions have different denominators. So like fractions, same number on bottom. Unlike fractions, different numbers on bottoms of fractions. So this is what like fractions look like. All of these fractions have 15 as the denominator. Unlike fractions, all have different denominators. The numbers are all different. You can change unlike fractions to like fractions. For example, change 5/6 and 3/8 to like fractions. Let's make the denominators the same. So the least common multiple, or the LCM, is the smallest multiple that two or more numbers have in common. So we want to find that smallest multiple of the two numbers we're trying to change, and we're trying to target the denominator to make them the same. So that's step one, to find the least common multiple of the given denominators, 6 and 8. So the M represents multiples. So 6, 12, 18, 24, and we can keep adding 6 more. Multiples of 8, represented with M sub 8 equals 8, 16, 24, and we could keep going by adding 8 more. But we found our match. The first one that matches is 24. So the least common multiple between 6 and 8 is 24. Step 2. Use the least common multiple as the new denominator. We had a fraction of 5/6. We want to make the new fraction have a denominator of 24. So just like we did in the last section, we can either know how many sixes it takes to get to 24, or divide 24 by 6 if we need to do that. And that would be 4 sixes. So if you change the denominator by multiple of 4, multiplying times 4, then change the numerator by multiplying by 4. In this case, 5 times 4 is 20. So 20 over 24. Now the 8 and 24 is a new problem. So you can either know how many 8s it takes to get to 24, or do the division. Put 24 in the box, the new denominator, divide by the original denominator, which is 8. It takes 3/8 to get to 24. So 8 times 3 is 24. Now do the same thing to the top. Multiply by 3. 3 times 3 is 9. Now we have 2 over 24 and 9 over 24. Step 3, divide by the least common multiple of the given denominators. And step 4, multiply the numerator and denominator of each fraction by the quotients in step 3. So we did step 3 already. So you can write 5/6 and 3/8 as 20 over 24 and 9 over 24. The new fractions have the same denominator. Now they are like fractions because they have the same denominator. So practice A, write the like fractions from each exercise. So since I'm working on the computer, I'm going to highlight the ones that are the same. So we want to highlight the fractions that are like fractions, they have the same denominator. So for number 1, 2/5 and 3/5 have the same denominator. For number 2, 5/12 and 7/12 have the same denominator. And number 3, 3/10 and 6/10. 4 has 6/7 and 1/7. Number 5 is 2/9 and 4/9. Number 6 has 3/8 and 1/8. And we can see that these highlighted in red, those denominators do not match the other two fractions. So the ones in red are unlike fractions. We only highlighted in green the like fractions because they have the same denominator. Practice B. Got a lot to practice here, so we can just do a few to get you started. And if you'd like more help, we could use the extras for more help. So let's take a look at these on the side. So let's look at number 10 to start. We want to change each pair of fractions to like fractions. So we want to find the least common multiple. We had 7 and 5. So 7 and then 14, 21, 28, 35. And I remember from a previous chapter that multiples of 5 will end in either 5 or 0. The first one that does that is 35. So let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So there's the first match, right? So we want to get to 35. I think I'll need to rewrite these for space. So 1/7 times something to get to a new fraction that has 35 as the denominator. So how many 7s does it take to get to 35? Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. So it takes 5 7s to get to 35. Whatever I change the denominator by, you have to change the numerator by the same amount. 5 times 1 is 5. Now 4/5 gets multiplied by something as well, but what does it take to get 5 up to 35? How many 5s? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. So it takes 7 5s to get to 35. So whatever you change the bottom by, you have to do the top. So 7 times 4 is 28. So now we have our new fractions. 5 over 35 and 28 over 35. Let's try 22 as well. So we want to find the least common multiple between 9 and 3. So 3 is less than 9, so I'll start there because 3, 6, 9 is the first multiple. Since 9 is already the denominator for this one, I don't need to change it. So 8/9 will still be 8/9 when we turn 2/3 into a fraction with 9 as the new denominator. How many 3's to get to 9? 1, 2, 3. Whatever you change the denominator by, change the numerator by to keep it the same. 6 is the new numerator. So 8/9 and 6/9 are our two new fractions that are like fractions. Everyday problem solving. At the supermarket, Carmine bought half pound of cherries, 7/8 pound of pears, and 5/8 pound of apples. Name the like fractions. So we have 1/2, 7/8, and 5/8. So which ones are like? The ones that both have 8. 2 is not the same as 8, but 8 are the same. So we have 7/8 and 5/8. So let's change all three of the fractions to like fractions. So we can turn 1/2 into a fraction that has 8 as the denominator. So how many 2's go into 8? 4. 2 times 4 is 8. So then change the numerator by 4 as well. 1 times 4 is 4. 1/2 equals 4/8. Now 4/8 is also a like fraction. So practice some more in your workbook for Chapter 7, Section 5. Let me know if you have any questions, and we could practice some more from those problems above if needed. Thank you very much.